And welcome back to Sunday Square Off. Phoenix's City Council ends 2018 an absolute mess. An attempted cram down of a Phoenix Suns arena renovation got stuffed, and a water rate increase to deal with a looming water shortage is rejected. What's next in 2019? A new mayor and new council members will be elected in March. Will Phoenix get its act together? Joining us is Jessica Boehm. She covers City Hall for the Arizona Republic. Welcome to Square Off.
Thank you.
Full disclosure, as many of our viewers already know, my wife is a City of Phoenix employee. Let's start with the end of the year and what happened at the City Council with the Phoenix Suns deal. They just put this out there with just 5 days before the vote. The public reacted terribly, just said, no way. How could this happen? Why didn't anybody see this coming on the council or in the city manager's office?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that there was definitely this feeling from at least the mayor's office that the votes were there, that this was going to pass, that everything was going to be fine. And I think a few council members, once they started seeing how the public was reacting, they realized they needed to take a step back, or this could be, disastrous for their future political ambitions.
Yeah, you wonder about their political smarts, because it's pretty well known that these days the public does not support public financing.
Not at all like it used to. No, it's definitely just wildly unpopular on both sides of the aisle.
And so this looks like it'll come back at the end of January for a vote, and maybe some things will change or maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have 5 public meetings before then. My question is, are the votes going to fall the same way we were expecting them to fall, in December, but just, being able to say, oh, we came to you, we heard you, we had these public meetings. Well, we'll see if the public really gets an opportunity to make any, real input in that situation.
Sure, yeah. Even more surprising, understand why the sports teams get all the attention, but the council said no to raising water rates to deal with a looming water crisis. And there was a lot of preparation on this issue. They knew all about this.
Right, yeah, it was kind of played as a surprise, but it's been well talked about. The council's been discussing with the water department, the real issue of this looming water crisis, particularly with the Colorado River. 40% of Phoenix relies on the Colorado River for water. So the city really needs to come up with an infrastructure plan to get banked water and groundwater from the southern part of the city to the northern part of the city, which is what this water rate increase would have accomplished, but they voted it down.
They voted it down.
It could come back, though. Mayor Williams definitely said that that is her intention. She wants to reconsider it after the first of the year. So it'll just be interesting to see what happens.
And maybe okay, they voted it down, but it's unclear why they voted it down.
It really is.
That's the thing.
Especially, a couple of council members weighed in on why they thought so. Obviously, we know Councilman DeCiccio and Vice Mayor Waring are typically against, increases of any kinds when it comes to taxpayer money. But with Councilman Nowakowski, he didn't make it clear why he voted the rate increase down. Of course, he may be facing a recall, so perhaps he's being abundantly cautious.
Michael Nowakowski's in a real pickle right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's end with the politics. So March 12th, there is a special election for mayor. Former council members Kate Gallego and Danny Valenzuela facing off. Kate Gallego won the November race by 19 points, but didn't get to 50+1. All she needs is 4 or 5 more points to get there. Is this a cakewalk for her? Does Danny Valenzuela have any chance here?
There's always a chance, but I can say most everyone I've talked to has said, it's going to be an extremely uphill battle at this point. I mean, to make up that much ground, and especially in an election where you're going to see less voter turnout than you did, of course, in November. I mean, this is going to be a March election. It's going to be, a very narrow voter group that you have to work with. So it's going to be difficult.
And Danny Valenzuela's team has put out a path they see. Mm-hmm. They argue, much smaller pool of voters, not as many women as you saw in the midterms, and there was a large women turnout, they think,
right.
Kate Gallego.
Right, of course.
Does anybody buy that?
I think that there are people who are hopeful that he can pull it off, but I think that everyone kind of knows that realistically it's going to be very tough.
Okay, and last question, real quick, yes or no? Does the next mayor want this arena deal taken care of before he or she takes office?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Don't want to touch that. Jessica Boehm, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
When we come back, will the state crack down on Arizona charter schools and their millionaire owners in 2019? Stay with us.